so good. Where did you get?
Restaurant?
A restaurant, yeah. Sounds good.
Something.
Elf.
I'll look it up. Yeah, and they just make the dumplings just hot or not hot. Today food. Yeah, they just make the dumplings in front of your eye. Okay. Secret language of juggling. I just renamed this talk today because I thought the old name was confusing. It needs to be how to entertain a juggler, and you'll see why. So this is all about the different sort of things that happen in juggling that you don't know about. I used to call it the how to entertain a juggler because we think of jugglers as being entertaining you. This is how you entertain the person who is juggling. So this is how a juggler entertains themselves, not people on the street. And you'll see why as I go on. This is what we think of when we think of juggling. A clown doing goofy stuff on the stage for everybody. We're talking about all these different aspects of juggling. Okay, what can you juggle? Here's all different sorts of props you might see juggling on the street or at a juggling festival. You got hoops, clubs, rings, balls, that sort of stuff. Here's a guy juggling like 11 balls. There's no way this picture is real.
Impossible.
Yeah, not that it's not possible. It's that it's a cool detail. I mean, this is an old picture. This is pre-AI, but it's a cool detail that there's like shadows of the balls. But look at how casually he's standing. If you're juggling 11 balls, you'd be like
12 balls.
12 balls. There you go.
You're counting.
You would be like fully extended. Like this guy looks very casual. Too casual. This guy's juggling apples.
He looks like he's gonna take a bite out of one. Like
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, he probably is. Usually you don't bite out of 5 balls, but sometimes. This guy is juggling dangerous stuff on a giraffe unicycle, we call this.
Legit or
It could be real. Yeah. This is me juggling torches
Oh. Okay, that's flat.
a long time ago. What?
That's a sick picture.
Okay. Fire stuff is fun. This is a guy juggling bowling balls, and I used to have I used to juggle a bowling ball, a tennis racket, and a baseball bat. Was for this skit that I did. I don't have that anymore. I juggled in my house. My parents didn't like it. This is Diablo. You maybe have heard of that. It's like the spinny thing. Sometimes it's called like the Chinese yo-yo. It's a string. And there's this middle thing, which spins around. Sometimes there's multiple of them. You'll see them in circuses.
When you say multiple, like there'll be multiple on the same string.
Yeah.
Have you
Sometimes you'll
seen
see like
this?
3 of these. They jump around and stuff. Yeah. We could do a whole talk about Diablo. It's its own world. This is me juggling plungers.
What backstory?
I needed some juggling clubs and I didn't have any, and I went to a hardware store to find things that were like the right balance. It's like a full-size plunger is not the right balance. The way the center of balance is off. I found these little ones have the right balance, so, and they're like $2 or something.
Can you test the balance? Like
Yeah, you just spin them and you see how it goes. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Yep. This is like spinning poi balls you may have seen. You know, people spinning stuff around, sometimes fire, like Burning Man style stuff. More Burning Man. This is called a flaming rope dart, which people will light everything on fire. This is like this whip sort of that shoots flame kind of. This is this kind of old sort of vaudeville style of juggling, which is just like a lot of everything happening at once. Like they just pile on the different things at the same time. He's spinning something. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is a video of people juggling people.
People.
So watch
Oh,
this.
I've seen videos of this.
Yeah, so this is 3 people
Oh.
juggling in a 3-ball cascade motion, as though each ball was a person.
Imagine the rug burn from this.
Yeah. And they go for a long time in this video.
We should try that.
Yeah,
Arc on Friday.
totally doable.
yeah.
I think we could do it.
They do some other weird ones in this video, but this is cool because this is like a vanilla cascade pattern which people are familiar with. Okay. This is a guy juggling cats. Is it real? I don't know. The cats look kind of unfazed. Probably not real.
Do they ever look phased?
Maybe not. Okay, here's the robot juggling. Yeah, it's juggling 5 balls very precisely. Let's see. Here's a quadcopter juggling. These are like, different things scientists have done over the years. Here's a project this guy was trying to get kickstarted on many years ago. Actually, I think he's out of UC Berkeley, maybe. He's trying to make this giant robot that would juggle cars, real physical full-size cars.
Okay, that's cool.
Thing I love about this video is there's a cool detail in it, which is usually when you start with 3 balls, but you only have 2 hands, right? So usually you have 2 in one hand, but it's hard to hold 2 cars in one hand. So he has this little pocket thing to pull it out when he needs it. So this guy was maybe serious. I don't know. I never followed his Kickstarter that much. Okay, where?
Go
You can
Bears.
juggle in lots of different places. This guy, Dan Menendez, who's a sort of famous juggler. You'd see him at like NBA shows and stuff. He does 5-ball bounce juggling on a piano. He plays things like The Flight of the Bumblebee and all this cool stuff, and songs that you would know. And he's famous and made a living just doing that. It's like a Renaissance fairy tale juggler. I just thought this was a cool picture because the way she's balancing this in front of that. Yep, this is contact juggling. So contact juggling is a style where the item never leaves your body, so you never throw it. So you may see people rolling them around and doing this sort of stuff and rolling over their arms. That's all contact juggling. There's lots of different kinds of contact juggling. For example, this is Noah, the same guy, but he's doing contact staff, which is a very unusual thing to do, but people do it. So you can contact juggle a lot of stuff. You can do rings, balls, boxes, but he's like spinning things on his body, right? These things are never leaving his body. And these are actually torches, I can tell, but they're not lit here.
What is the most and least respected form of juggling by jugglers?
It's the hot topic.
I figured.
There's many different camps of jugglers. I'd say some ball jugglers aren't that into contact juggling. Contact juggling doesn't think this is that. That's kind of, there's all different worlds of people. Yeah. I mentioned like Burning Man stuff because that's very much not the kind I'm into, like the very flashy, fiery stuff. Like it's cool. It's not my thing, but this guy's juggling underwater. This guy,
Physics would be so different.
I know. The balls maybe had something too, like maybe they're heavier or less hollow. I don't know what the story was, but this is a Shrita Furman. I don't know if you ever heard of him. I think he's the guy who holds the most Guinness Book of Records. He has a fascinating backstory in that he's like in the business of thinking of records to make in the Guinness Book of Records. So he has lots of obscure records where he's like standing on a bicycle, throwing peanuts into someone's mouth who's 3 feet away, like he just thinks of these things. So he has so many of these shows. So he juggles underneath. He also did some interesting ones where he like did all these hikes backwards on stilts up mountains. Anyway.
This guy and I would not get along.
Yeah, check him out. Check him out. Shrita, I think is his name. He's an old guy now. So okay, here's just a random picture I thought that would be interesting. There's juggling festivals, which I should probably talk more about in this, but juggling festivals are, we get together for a couple days or weeks or something, places. This is the EJC, the European Juggling Festival, which happens in a different country every year. And people come from all over the world. They're usually outdoor hosted, so people camp out and stuff. And it is, at every festival, it is a tradition to do what they call a throw up. So they take a picture and everyone throws up all the props they can and we get a picture of it. So as you can imagine, right after this, everyone's like, oh my God, because nobody can catch all these things.
Questions of their good.
Yeah, people get hurt. I took my kid to the last one in Berkeley and I said, you can't be in the throw up. You can watch, but you can't be in this part. This is cool. There's just a lot of people. And there's some great throw up pictures over the years of places. Okay, why? So there's all these weird types of juggling that you would never think of. Joggling, for example. This is a competitive sport for people who run distances while juggling. I knew a guy in Santa Cruz who did this for like decades. This was his form of exercise. It was not like a funny thing to him. He had weighted balls and he would juggle in his shorts every day. I love this picture because this guy is like super ripped and like, on the track even, like, look at that. It's like, that's like Olympic style stuff.
Weighted balls, it's crazy.
Yeah, weighted balls are its own world. And then there's records for all this. And this article is very old. Anyway. Yes. Combat joke. Okay, I need to give a little preface to what this is. So
No, it's fine. I get it.
this is kind of what inspired this whole talk. Was I wanted to explain some stuff about combat. Combat juggling is the whole premise is everyone is juggling in 3 clubs in a room full of people. Old school combat is you're all juggling in 3 clubs, don't move. The last person juggling wins. Okay, so you could have 100 people in an auditorium. But there's this group of jugglers, this is maybe 10, 15 years ago, who tried to turn it into like a legitimate sort of extreme sport, sort of like American Gladiators style stuff, with like real like sponsors and medals and jerseys and all that stuff. So it's sort of violent, but the idea is you can run around and you can smash people's clubs out and you can do things to them, but your clubs need to remain up. And there's like teams and leagues and different places. And this was like actually on like some CNN thing that was like narrated by Penn and Teller, which is juggler. And there's lots of different rules and flags and all this stuff, but you'll see some variations on different things on, but a lot's going to be happening here. So, and you wanted to watch some advertisements, right? Got this guy left in his car. Okay. So that they must be a team, I guess. Smashing them out of each other's hands. That guy's being cautious. Real slams. Oh, those guys are all on a line.
Is contact with skin about?
No, you can hit their
So
skin.
you always have to have one in the air.
Yeah.
So you can hold 2, but only if the other one's in the air.
Yes, that's why you see a lot of times people just throw one up really high
Yeah.
and they smash, and they have to collect it.
How do you get a foul? in
No,
this game?
sick.
Look at that.
Sick.
Yeah, all 3 of them
So
out at
sick.
once.
Your best.
Yeah.
Nice work.
It's not like high
Course
court.
participate, but maybe to watch.
Yeah, see, that guy had an interesting thing he was doing. He just, instead of doing 1, 2, 3, he was going 1, 2, 3. So he'd throw one up and smash, grab another. Right? And I think there's also variations where you can have a team where as long as someone in the team is up, like you throw them back and forth. I've seen this at a lot of festivals. I participated before it became like this extreme sport, but it is a thing. Yeah, you can watch this forever. So I really don't talk enough about festivals, but festivals are its own story, and there's tons of competitions at juggling festivals. This would just be one of them. There's like endurance contests and like creative trick contests and the judges and like Simon Says, or like juggling Simon Says, turn around, all that sort of stuff. But another one that's interesting that's also from the combat times is called the quarter juggle, and everyone takes 3 quarters, actual quarters, and they juggle 3 quarters. Auditorium with 100 people. If you drop, you're out. So the last person gets all the quarters. Sometimes, like out at the Berkeley or the Bay Area Festival I went to last, they're doing dollar juggles, where you crump up dollar bills, 3 single dollar bills, which is higher stakes and much harder because it's like paper.
How long does like an endurance competition usually go for?
Depends on the competition. Like a quarter juggle competition could be like 5 minutes.
Like 3 balls or 3 clubs.
3 balls is not a comp. That wouldn't even happen. 'Cause
Okay.
you can go for days.
5.
Gates.
5 balls. Yeah. So what happens is they keep going. There's a lot here, but they go until it's like they're down to the 3 people who can clearly do 9 balls, and they're just gonna do that forever.
Yeah.
So they start giving them challenges, like either Simon Says challenges or like, now you have to close your eyes for a minute. Now you have to sit down and stand up. So they're like going into like elimination.
So once you reach a certain level of skill, you can just go for as long as you want.
There's also people that like practice just for the festival. They're like people that do quarter juggles all year, being like, I'm gonna pay for my laundry if it's night festival for the rest of the year. I won one competition once at a festival many years ago, and it was a obstacle course where one guy would be laying on his back, juggling balls straight up. So you're like laying down on the ground, doing this, right? Juggling 3 balls, and then they had to be pulled through the obstacle course by their feet.
What?
Oh my god. Were you the guy being
I
hello?
was just pulling. I was pulling my friend. That was the only one I ever won. I wasn't even doing anything. I was just pulling the guy. But I mean, you can imagine, these are like the best of the best that come to these things, right? That's why the obstacle courses are fun, because some of them are like, they're kind of innovative and nobody's gonna like practice it ahead of time. Okay, so wow, there's lots of scientific articles people have written about juggling, because I don't know why, jugglers are nerds. Here's a PLOS paper. Oh my God, the visual impact of unisensory and multisensory audio, tactile events, pros and cons, interlimb coordination in juggling. That sounds a little bit more like less about the actual juggling, more about the mental, physical parts of it. Okay, side swaps. Here's where things get interesting. Okay, juggling goes back thousands of years. Here's the oldest evidence we have. Thousands of years ago, right? Hieroglyphs. This didn't tell us how they were juggling, but it did tell us that they were juggling. That's it.
Here's the line. Like, how did this start 1,000 years ago?
It is a good question. Yeah, there you can get into the history of sort of like balancing and like the gesture side of things and all that sort of stuff. I don't know a ton of it, but there is a rich history of this stuff too. At some of these juggling festivals, they have like historical booths with people who like are historical experts, and they bring historical props and old things with story and stuff. It is very fascinating. Okay, so let's jump ahead until maybe this was like the 80s, 1980s, much closer to now. Juggling, which is a news group. I don't know if you guys are familiar with news groups, but this is like early internet when people would just have like sort of a chat room online and everyone in the world could use it. So this was one of the more widely used parts of the internet at that time. Like, you know, original online communities were pretty niche, right? So this was like a community of people all over the world who had the internet and would talk about juggling stuff. They talk about juggling patterns, getting gigs, making festivals, organizing all this stuff. The reason why I mention this is because this was pre like online video, so people needed ways to communicate juggling patterns to each other. There are also juggling magazines, but that had a smaller syndication. So there was people took stabs at making different notations to explain different juggling patterns. So when I say juggling patterns, if you don't know, there's like different patterns. Let's see. Yeah. So this is like a cascade. It's like a reverse cascade. This is like a full shower. You know, it's hundreds of these patterns. How do you explain that to people with a diagram in a newspaper or in this article? So this is an early attempt at it, state transition diagrams. It's kind of hard to follow. I don't even know what pattern this is. I just found this early picture. Oh yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Because I'm going to start moving fast and it's going to get a little technical. Okay, this is a causal diagram. So this is what's widely used in club passing, made famous also in probably the late 90s here at Stanford. The idea is you have, and this is not a passing pattern. Passing is multiple people. This is a single person in this pattern. You have your right hand and your left hand. Time is going this way. So what's going on here, there's a 3-ball cascade. So this is the basic pattern that I just did. So as time goes on, you're throwing from one hand to the other, right? So right goes to left goes to right. So I'm throwing from my right, my left, my right, my left, and it's always crossing. So it's always going to the other hand. So that looks complicated, but really it's this. This is a very simple pattern. You don't see any weird squirrelies or back in time or anything. This is just straight ahead.
But how can you separate like a cascade from a shower with this?
because man,
Yeah, so like a shower, for example, like a full shower.
Yeah.
Like this would look different because you are actually throwing some of your balls. Let's see, how would you do this? You'd be doing right here, and then your left would go to your right. But you'd have to have ones inside that go to yourself. So like, let's see, when I'm doing this, I'm doing my right across, my left is going under, but I'm passing it. So you actually have to have ones in here where you're actually going to yourself. Yeah. Side swap notation is an even more compressed way of doing it, which is that whole sequence we just looked at can be summed up by this number. You can give someone that number and they know that you're doing this. So I'll explain how that works. The idea is that every number represents a height, and odd numbers represent a pass between hands. Even numbers represent up and down the same. So in vanilla side swaps, this is just like the basic of side swaps. It's all you need to know. You have 2 hands, not 3 hands. You alternate throws from each hand, and you only have 1 ball in your hand at a time. Here's what some of the numbers look like. 1 is a pass between hands, like I was just saying with that last one. 2, you can call it a hold, or you can do it as a 2 beat. It's really about like how much time it takes to do, less about the throw itself. But the important thing with odd and even is you definitely have to transfer hands. So when you do 3, you could either do this, or you could do this, or whatever it is. You have to get from one hand to the other, and it has to be in a beat of 3. And then like high 5 would just be, it's the same as a 3, but you need a longer time. So it'd be like this. All right, so you have like, what is 1? 1 is a pass, 2 is up, 3, 4 higher up, 5 is higher up. Then you can get to 6. Yeah. 7. Okay,
how high does it go?
as high as you want. Here's all examples of patterns. So a pattern is a string of numbers, not just one number. These all mean different patterns here. You know what 3 is because I just showed you this. And this also, I'm also going to explain how you know the amount of balls by looking at this number. Okay, actually, let's just do some of these. So 3 you've seen. Okay, a 4, 4, 1. 4 is like this. 4 is like this, and 1 is a hand across. So 4, 4, 1. Right?
Oh,
4, 4, 1. 4, 4, 1. 4, 4, 1. 4. Actually, let me keep the reds on the outside so you can see. That one. 4, 4, 1, 3. 4, 4, 1, 3. 4, 4, 1, 3. This is an interesting pattern because these 2 are on the outside and you're doing like this sort of circle in the white one. 5, 1. 5, 1 is a full shower. So it's from your right hand, you're throwing a high 5, and the left hand is all 1s. 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1. 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1. Yeah. So it's getting crazy, but I actually like this one. And then 5, okay, 4 balls is a 5, 3. 5, 3. Oh, 5. Oh, that'd be a half shower. So instead of doing a hand across, you're doing a low pass. So like this, yeah.
that's so cool.
And what do you think a 5 is?
Everything goes high up.
Everything is high. That's 5 balls. So this is all, it's the same as 3, but it's at a higher beat.
Wait, make sure that people can't.
Oh, can I see?
Guys, can you see?
You were a little bit off frame there. This is sort of the finale, I feel
I
like.
can't tell which camera is looking.
Yeah, right there. You're good right
Oh,
there.
it's okay. All going the same height. Nothing interesting between like handing acrosses or over the top. It's all straight away, just like a 3 ball. That's good, yeah. So something else that's interesting, you'll notice here, if there's an odd number, it's going to be a symmetrical pattern. So you're going to go back and forth the same way. Like for example, 5, 1 is an even number. So it's all weighted on one side. All my right hand is doing 5, 1 is 3 balls. My right hand is doing the same thing. My left hand is doing its own thing, but they're never changing roles. right? Because it's an even number. If it's an odd number, then it's balanced. So 5,
If it's an even number of numbers, or if they sum to
if
an
it's a
even number?
if it's an even number of numbers, yeah. So like, that's why the 441 and the 4413 look very different. Like 441 is very balanced. Going back and forth, but a 4413 has this thing going in the middle, and the middle is always going from left to right. It's never going right to left. So as a juggler, we usually prefer things that are symmetrical. Not always the case on the type of juggling that you do, but usually a odd number pattern is sort of better for your brain because you're doing everything both sides. Make your own side swaps. Okay, so here is, of course, there's programs that do all these things for us. We can create our own side swap. So you just think of a number, stick it in there, and see what it looks like. So here's 531, which I was just doing before.
Oh, is it just that the sums, when you sum the numbers, if it sums to a multiple,
You're onto something. Well, we're almost there. We're almost exactly there. That's good. Okay, so this 531. Actually, let's look at the one I was just doing before. What I was doing 441. So this is 2 going up on the side, and the bottom one is always heading back and forth, very symmetrical. Now if we do the 4413, was it? Now you see the same thing, but you have this middle one that's doing this loop. Okay. So let's go back to the 531 that I was doing before, which looks kind of crazy. But this pattern you can extend and you can keep adding more to it. So this is symmetrical, right? This is going up on that side, and then it goes up. Wait. This goes up and that goes up. This goes up and that goes up, right? It's symmetrical. But if you add another ball into this, you have this is the 4-ball version of that because you added a 7. This is not symmetrical.
That's crazy.
So this one's always going that way. There's nothing coming up from this side, right? So let's add another ball. If you do it with 5 balls, you'll get a symmetrical one again. There's something particular about this pattern that people like. I don't know if it's called a tower or something, but the idea with this is you can, at one point in time, everything is stacked, sort of. You see there's one point in time where bam, right there, they're all like at different numbers stacked on top of each other. Well, yes. I mean, the 3-ball version was this one. That I was,
Oh, yeah.
4-ball one, a little hard in this height of a room, but let's see.
Wait, let's move up.
No,
I can't.
Yeah.
No, it's the ceiling is too low.
Let's see it. Yeah, it's super hard to do it with this height. I need a lot more height. You need to be able to get the height difference between them to be significant for it to work. Yeah, any other numbers? I don't want to shout out a string of numbers. You try it out.
332541.
It's not a side swap. Okay, now.
Okay.
244.
3, 5, 3, 5, 2, 4, 4. Nope.
No, okay.
We do 2, 5, 3. Also not.
Not like SF zip codes or like Pacifica's 94044.
94133.
Hold on. This brings me to my next point. I was trying to illustrate the point here.
Yeah.
Odd number steps is symmetrical. I already said that. Okay. The theorem is the number of the balls in the pattern is the average of the throws. So this is what you were pointing out. So with a number like 531, right? So 5 plus 3. Wait, was it 531 I was doing? Yeah. 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 9. So that's a 3-ball pattern, right?
So if they don't average, it's like invalid.
Good question.
I think it would just be that there's not enough time for all the balls that need to be in the air to be in the air.
Yeah, so you can see right here where I just put the averages in. But yeah, like, for example, you might think these are 2 different numbers of balls, but they're not because there's another one in there and you're it lowers the average, right? So so there's 3 balls. So a long string of numbers doesn't mean it's a ton of balls. It could mean you have 3 balls. Like, for example, if you have a very long, like 10 string numbers and you have 3 balls, that makes it very hard on the mind because you're not doing the same thing every time with the same hand, right? So things start getting very complicated. And that's where really nerdy jugglers get into making these very long, weird things that stretch and make no sense to anyone and would look like garbage if you were to watch it. But it's a lot of fun for their brain.
So like a 4-4-2 doesn't work because it's not visible
That-
by
that's-
3? Okay.
Is a 6-3-1 a side swap?
No.
No, not in our world, not in this universe. Maybe in the imaginary number universe. So, yeah, what I was saying about how to entertain a juggler, that's the exact type of thing I'm talking about. Like you think of these long, complicated things and see if you can do it. Doesn't look very good. Some side swaps do look good and they map out to things that we do every day. Some don't. Okay, there's lots of other types of side swaps. I'm actually not a side swap expert. It's not something that I do. These things are all, like I can explain what some of these things are. Synchronous is when you throw two at the same time. Like that, all these things are things you would not account for with the basic system we just created. So you need additional notation. So synchronous, multiplex is when you take from one hand, you throw into two hands. This makes a lot of very nice looking patterns. Actually, let me show you like, this is a 5 ball and a 3-ball pattern. Multiplexing. So every time I throw 2, it splits between the hands and I catch them.
Love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I love it.
Right.
That's perfect.
It's actually fairly easy. It looks really cool. And
Fairly
yes,
easy.
this is, well, because I'm going at a 3-ball time.
Mm.
I'm doing 1, 2, 3 instead of doing a 5-ball time, which is like a lot faster. Yeah. Posits, orbits, I don't know what all that stuff is. Okay, this is also going to move really fast. It's a video of these people who do social side swaps. So the idea with that is you're essentially adding hands into the side swap. So we usually do 2, but you can add more people, and then you can have 3 hands, or you can have 4 hands, or 6 hands, and you can notate all those. But the notation starts getting very complicated, and they do a lot of weird stuff. It's moving fast, but I'll just show you some of the neat stuff that happens here. Look at that weird notation. They're using rings. That's touching style. This is a table. This is a whole bunch of people. Passing. I love these side-by-side ones. They make very interesting patterns.
How did you first get into this?
How did I first get into this? As a kid, I went to an arts camp that had some circus stuff. Yep, I got into it. Look at these numbers. That's so cool.
What is the speed?
I don't know. I should look it up. Okay, passing. This is my wheelhouse. Passing stuff. Okay, I could explain all this stuff a lot better. Okay, so this is multi-juggler casual diagram. The idea here is before we had a hand, each row is a hand. Now each row is a juggler with 2 hands. So you have right and left for this juggler, right and left for the other juggler. And you can see a pass. Before, when we were representing a pass as being between one hand and another hand of the same person, we're doing it between people. So this time you're going right to left. That's a common pass going directly across. So if I'm facing somebody, my right hand is going to their left hand. If I pass right to right, it's going to be like a cross. It's going crossing between us, right? Because we're facing each other. This is what a self now looks like. You're just passing from your left to your right. Time goes that way. Okay. First, there was every other. So this is the circus passing pattern. Like when I go to another country and I say, "Do you want to pass?" and we don't speak the same language, or I say, "Clubs," they do this. This is what everyone does. This is the cascade of passing. And most people never do anything beyond this. This is the circus pattern. So what's happening here is you have 2 people. They're always passing right to left. See, this guy always passes right to left. This guy always passes right to left. They only pass on their rights. Besides that, they're doing a bunch of selves. So, I have a video of this. This is side swap notation. I guess P stands for pass, maybe. I'm not sure. Here's what it looks like. So you've definitely seen this on the street. That people can also do tricks. Let's see if they do. I don't actually know. Yeah, here's some tricks. So tricks here are just like throws that are special, but it still fits into the pattern, right? He's throwing it onto the leg or behind the back or over the head or whatever, but it's still like meeting the exact pattern as long as he's always got to get on the fourth beat, he's got to get a club to that hand, right?
It's just like a 1, 2, 3 pass.
Right. Yep. Exactly. It's 4, but yes.
That's a wild throw.
Yeah. So this is all circus style,
Yeah,
and this is what you would see.
that's cool.
And that's why you're like, whoa, he threw it over his head. That's awesome, right? Okay, so let's talk about where things get interesting in two jugglers side of things. Okay, here's two very wacky looking feeds. This is a simul squirrel. I don't know if there's a video of this, but let's try to parse what's going on here. You have two jugglers, 1 and 2. Right off the bat, this looks weird, right? Because they're stacking the right and lefts, but this still represents a single juggler. So what this represents, since you're going over time, is this person is throwing with their right and left at the same time, and it's crossing to the other person. So this is going right to left and left to right. So I'm throwing two at the same time straight across. And then what's the other guy doing? The other guy's also doing some of these between there, but they're doing it in staggered time. So you can see all the passes are either a simul or a single, right? You have a simul followed by a single. Oh, that could be happening at the same time. Ooh, that would be confusing. But anyway, there's also these left to lefts. They're going you can't really go back in time, but these also represent other things. So often a left to left could mean a hold, or it could mean you throw something up and down right in the same hand, but it represents that beat that's passing. So this pattern looks nuts. There's a lot of it's very jerky because you're like, 2, duh, and 2. It's not like dun, 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 right? Here's some why not popcorn feed. So this has 3 jugglers in it. So with 3 jugglers, there's lots of different ways to organize 3 people, but the most standard is called feeding passing. So usually you have the feeder and the feedees. The feeder is the person who is the main controller, and they're passing to the feedees. The feedees usually have the easy job. The feeder is feeding 2 people, so they're like working twice as hard as everyone else because they need to keep everyone in the air. So here you can see juggler 2 is the feeder. You can tell they're the feeder because they are passing to that guy and to that guy. They're passing to both guys. And no time does 1 and 3. They never pass to each other in this, right?
Nope.
Yeah. So that's how we know this is a feed. You can have other patterns, like you can have a triangle where everyone has equal weight, but the standard is for there to be a feeder. So that's what the feeder part is. Now the why not part of this and the popcorn part is, see, popcorn usually means you're doing a very high throw to yourself. That's what this is. So that means usually a ball is coming into you, and instead of passing, or a club's coming into you, instead of passing it to yourself, you throw it up really high, and it's going to come down to you later on. So this is a lot of time passes between your left and your right. This is not a pass, this is a self. Okay.
So
This axis is no longer time.
It is time. Yeah. Well, the back.
How do you go
these
back
are-
into?
Yeah, these are confusing. This is like a backhand notation for implying what to do with that club at that time. So it could mean something like this. Like you're holding on to it. You're not getting rid of it. Yeah. And then, yeah, that's why these lines are all here to show what a simul is. It means you're throwing it at the same time. And then here you'll see this line, which is totally uninteresting. Here, I'm not sure why it's there for that one. Okay, passing. Let me show you some videos of passing. This is me at a juggling festival in Alameda many years ago.
Wait, with all the facial hair?
This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Is it different than now? This pattern is called an 8 club, 1 count triple singles. Because there's 8, yeah, I can just tell you what this is. There's 8 clubs in the air. Remember before we were talking about that usually it's 3 clubs each. So that's 4 count and usually 6 clubs. So there's 8 clubs with 2 people, and we're doing 1 count triple singles. 1 count means, so we're doing a 4 count before. 4 count means 3 selves, 1 pass. 1 count means no selves. So every time I get a club, I immediately have to pass it back. I never pass anything to myself. So everything is, as soon as we get it, we get rid of it. The triple singles part is he's throwing triples, I'm throwing singles. So you can see the height difference of it. Yeah. Okay, SJRI, Stanford Juggling Research Institute. These guys are the people that created the casual diagram that we saw earlier. And it's, they love creating new patterns way more than actually juggling them. But they did a whole series of these top-down videos at their juggling weekly meetups that try to explain some of the interesting things that they thought of. This is a simulplex. So simulplex, it's like that squirrel thing we looked at before. So this guy's the feeder. These are the feedees. Simulplex means, remember, simul, you're throwing two at the same time. And a multiplex, you're throwing 1 to 2. So there's a lot of weird stuff happening here. Before I do this, let's see if I can slow it down.
So these are like the mad scientists.
That's exactly what they are. You still sound a lot. Fine? Okay. So they're all doing, these guys are doing the simpler thing, but this guy is always throwing multiple at a time. Not only that, he's actually throwing 3 at a time. And if he's throwing 3 at a time, it makes something very complicated over here where someone also has to receive 2 at a time. Right? And he's crossing over to catch these clubs. Right?
Who's throwing him 3 to give?
No one's, one of them is throwing 2 at one time and the other is throwing 1 at one time. So they're, right, that's 1 and then he's gonna get 2.
Okay, but it's like a hand, they like toss 2 separately and he tosses 3 simultaneously.
Yeah, I guess. See, he's just getting 2 simultaneously, so he just got 2 and then he's gonna get 1 from another. I don't know, I've never done this one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the one, okay.
The one comes first, and the one comes at the same time.
Yep, so this is a simulplex. You will not see this in the wild. It's probably not many people that do this at all. But it's like a very interesting pattern and very fun to think of these patterns on paper.
Can we see what it looks like it's at normal time?
Yeah. It doesn't look like much. Okay, you want double time? Yeah. So like, this is not a super, like, watching the feeder, it's not very fun to watch. It's very jerky, right? If you were to look at it from the side, you just be six guys. All these guys are doing all this weird stuff, right? Because they're like, it's almost like syncopated, right? They're moving sort of at different.
Crazy.
Really cool.
Okay. Takeouts. Okay, here's just another interesting thing that is sort of related to this. So like I said, when you have multiple people, you can have all sorts of different formations of people. You can have a triangle, you can have letters like H's and stars when you have 6 people or whatever. There's also ones where you rotate the shape throughout. And often that implies that there is someone who essentially takes control as a feeder for a short period of time. So like one person's feeding 4 people, then they shift, and another person's feeding 4 people, and they shift, another person's feeding 4 people. So they're all taking turns at doing it. But in this one, they also have someone in the middle who's taking puffed out. So let's see.
Did your juggling skills ever help with having twins?
Like juggling cats.
Not directly, it's more like indirectly with all the objects and accoutrements.
So, God, there's a lot going on here. I'm not going to break it all down, but you can see that they can start moving whenever they want. The pattern itself is is a 4 count, right? They're doing 4 count and 2 counts. So that allows you to do passing. What they're doing is they're doing essentially a juggling pattern of people. And the person that rotates inside is doing something very weird in that they're essentially simulating being a.
They're simulating a throw.
Yeah, they're sort of. Yes, they're simulating a throw, and they're also simulating. They actually like grab. Look, right there, he grabbed a club right out of his hand, and sometimes he'll grab it and give the club to the other person. So it's kind of like a pointless throw. It's like he's taking it to give it to the next guy. It doesn't really do anything. But it makes
One
sense.
guy being like freakishly taller than all the other guys makes it harder.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Really?
There's one guy who's a foot taller than everyone.
When he gets in the middle, he blocks everyone.
Yeah.
Guess so. See, now they're, yeah, anyway. These guys do a lot of fun stuff. Okay, MadFest. So this is just to show you one other style. This is the festival in Madison is into these very, very big groups of jugglers. It's all about numbers of people. It's not about the pattern, not about moving. It's not about levels. It's just about the sheer quantity of people. I couldn't find a modern thing where you could actually see it, but you kind of get the sense. There's like, I don't know, 50 jugglers here, and they're all passing at the same time. Everyone.
Yeah.
Are they moving? I don't think they're moving. Oh, no, it is a feast. They are moving. Okay.
You call that a feast?
Oh, yeah, a feast is a type of feast where you're changing. It doesn't matter. It's a moving
Oh,
one.
I just figured that was like where there was a lot of people. You call it a feast.
Yeah. I don't love this style, but this is we've got a lot of juggling communities in the Bay Area. The Castro Valley Club is very into these patterns. I think what's cool about these is here it was very equalized. Everyone's doing the same pattern, but you can also do it like when you have feeders and feedies, usually they're at different levels. Like you can have someone that's not as good be the feedie, and the feeder would be like the advanced person teaching everyone. With these very big patterns, you can actually make it much more diverse and have like very advanced people at the middle doing very complicated stuff. Then you could span out until you get to the very end. People at the end are just like doing almost nothing. So that's one of the cool things about Castro Valley. They just pull people in like, oh, you don't really know it much? You get on the end here, we'll do all this stuff. And it's a very cool way to get people. And yeah, that's true. And it's, yeah, sometimes the core person is like great at figuring out how to piece these things together. Passing recap. Okay, we talked about tricks was when they're throwing over the deck. Numbers, rhythms are different simuls. You got the simul stuff. Zips, I didn't talk about zips. Zip is just this basically. It's like when you have to get something out of your hand because something is coming in the way. Patterns are 3 jugglers, static feeds. So feeds are like, one person's feeding multiple people. Static is when they're standing in the same place. Social is usually when the moving ones, rotations, takeouts. Takeouts was a thing. The guy in the middle pulling things out. There's a lot of stuff beyond this. This is just what we talked about. Oh, man, only 5 minutes. My favorite part. Can I see this? Okay. So this is a juggling simulator.
Aim for the
Someone-
coolest part we just heard.
Okay, so now that your brain has been expanded by all these juggling patterns, we have, let's see, 2 clubs, gyms. Let's do, where's just a regular 4 count? 4 count. This is the circus pattern we're looking at. I wish I could slow this down. I couldn't figure out a way to slow it down. But this is a 4 count, right? 1, 2, 3, pass 2, 3, 4, pass 2, 3, 4, pass. That's going fast. But as you can see, it's always coming out of their right hand. It's hard to tell, but it's coming out of their right hand.
Their little eyes.
So right off the bat, this is like not technically interesting because they're unbalanced, right? They're doing everything from the right hand. When are they going to throw with their left hand? We'll look at the most beginning. We need a.
Oh, the names get crazy.
Can we
I know,
use chocolate bar?
3 count. Doesn't look any different probably, but this is three.
They're just throwing that green one back and forth.
Yes, this is a cycle of 3, but they're always alternating which hand. So they're always throwing first with their right, then left, right, left, right, left. See, so it's a more balanced pattern.
So blue and green are just getting tossed back and forth.
Yeah. So you'll see when people are doing the circus pattern, they're often like this. They have one hand back and they're just chucking them out because they're all doing right hand. When you're doing a balanced pattern, your body is flat. Doing everything. So this is, of course, there's pages and pages and pages of these things. So
Brendan's Folly.
you have like gyms.
It's jam.
Gym scouts are fun because they involve one person is crossing, one person is straight. God, I wish I could slow this down. But their gyms means both hands, one's always crossing, one's straight, and that's all. I don't even know what gyms
Doing
are.
like
It's doing a circuit.
Yeah,
Green's doing a circuit.
now it's doing the season.
that's a crazy one. I'm not going to do that one. Mild Madness. This is one I like doing a lot. God, you cannot tell what's happening.
And so like when you just like walk out to another juggler, you're just like, hey, let's do some mild madness.
Yes, you can, but there's a small group of us that know all these things. In the Bay Area, pretty likely they'll know it. In other places, not so much.
Is there just a very big passive community here?
What's that?
Is there just a very big passive community here?
Yeah, we have several communities that are in a different style of juggling. The Berkeley and the Stanford ones are probably the most notable ones that do this style.
A group of guys that does this on Wednesday nights at 6:30 PM in the Berkeley Chemistry Courtyard.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
You know those guys?
oh, yeah. definitely.
Yeah, I used to see those guys every week.
I know what this guy.
What else can I show you? Pass, pass, zip. So zip is when you're handing one straight across. That's what we were talking about before, where you're handing it straight across, being ports out of your hand. You can kind of see that they're like having this jump. Okay, we don't have a lot much time, so let's look at something bigger. Back to backs. Okay, this is two people facing the opposite directions.
I feel like I would get hit by a club
Uh,
immediately.
Then you have like these big ones, two people with 8 clubs,
Oh my God.
but it's simultaneous. Also,
Whoa.
these are not all things that are technically possible, because this is just
Gorilla.
gorilla. I don't know what that is, but these are all types of feeds, right? You see one person's feeding two people.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So this guy's doing like a double in there. Why not? Let's get change its self-standard manipulators, roundabouts.
One you've done.
The roundabouts. This is kind of like this is what we're seeing with the guys that are doing the takeouts before.
Yeah.
He's doing a takeout. But this is a
Peter.
3-person, yeah, this is a 3-person takeout where one person is rotating in and out and sort of doing something pointless in the middle. They're like stealing a club and giving it to the next guy. That's the standard takeout.
Say something's pointless, what would be the opposite? Like what would
Like
be?
if they weren't there, the other jugglers would experience it no different.
Okay,
basically.
Yeah.
Like,
got it.
then you have like, triangle, I've never done this, but there's a triangle like that, like where 3 are have an even weight to each other, but they're always doing outside, and this guy's, we're changing who he's taking.
That guy, for all intents and purposes, not juggling, just bad. It doesn't look like.
It's awful. You can Susan. Literally.
Before you guys, you might get this. This is the video.
Juggling.
This is the video, right, the scramble V. This is the 3-person with the feed and a rotating takeout.
One that we saw.
Yes.
What's the craziest one you've done or been part of?
I've done most of the ones we've seen already.
Well, you've done this?
Yep.
What's a star fruit?
Feed, this is boring, very boring. No
That
one,
sucks, man.
no one's moving, they're always throwing out of the, oh, actually, it's alternating the channels, yes.
How long does it take you to pick up if a new pattern, if someone's like sort of like explains it? Like, how long does it take everyone to sort of like
Yeah,
lock in?
some of these are complicated, all right? What is a Klingon? No idea.
That's.
Anyway,
This was fabulous. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
wait, the slides are online, if you want to get to them,
Oh.
the links to a bunch of juggling stuff. That's it.
Yes.
I'll get help on this and I.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna do juggling. Yeah, we'll do it another time.
Practice.
Much smart.
Can we do combat?
Yeah,
Anyone gone to training robots to juggle?
yeah, we had some slides on that.
Can we practice juggling on Friday at the picnic?
Yeah, bring it. Yeah,
Alright, I'm glad you recorded. I'll have to catch up.
all right.
Bye, Dobby.
Bye bye. Awesome job. Thank you.
One of my friends can't juggle, but her talent is being really, really good at telling if other people can juggle without knowing them.
Hey,
Jugglers have a vibe.
I've watched her do it like to like 30 people and get them all right. It's
That's
insane.
Oh, there we go.
okay, philosophical question once you're off.
Thanks. I've done it. Yep.
What first got you into the world of juggling and got you as passionate and obsessed as you are about it?
I went to a circus camp. What's up? I went to a art camp where they have some circus skills. And after
As a
that-
kid?
As a kid, yeah.
Okay.
And then I started going to like a real circus camp after that.
Got it. And then you've passed the psychology for kids as well.
Yep.
So the future of juggling is bright.
Yes, that's right.
Fantastic. Thank you. I will watch the recording. Sorry to
Cool. All good.
Do you have any casual hobbies, Jono? Or you think like every hobby you do it 150%?
You like the dexterity as like help you with stuff.
Oh. Sure, some things, yeah.
Any diffuse?
Yeah, that's like someone throws something at me, and probably more likely to catch it. I don't think I'm better at like, you'd think you'd be better at basketball or something, but it hasn't really worked for me. But you've got the hand
I've actually seen some studies that doing stuff like this helps with staying mentally sharp and prevents dementia long term.
Yeah.
So there's like an interesting wellness longevity angle to
Yeah,
it.
I didn't talk, there's all sorts of sides. There's like sort of the meditative side of that and the problem solving side of that.
Is there time for live coaching? How does one
Sure.
start to juggle? I'm glad. Is it being recorded? Okay, I don't want to.
Turn this on.
I'm too embarrassed.
Actually,